And now it's time for a preview of an upcoming game by Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today I'm taking a look at a Kickstarter game called Operation F.A.U.S.T. F-A-U-S-T, trying to save the fine arts. Think of Monument Men, the movie. This is kind of like that during World War II. You are trying to save, or I guess just steal, precious works of art in occupied France. There's kind of a two-way thing about this. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you're pretending to do. You're just trying to get a lot of art. So you might be a thief trying to get it all, or you might be trying someone to rescue it. I suppose your intentions are up to you. Let's take a look at how the game plays, and we'll be back. As with all our previews, remember that everything you see here is in prototype form and may or may not look like what the final product does. In this game, you're going to have this intelligence here. You can see there's 1s, 5s, and 3s. This is essentially a currency that's going to be used over the course of the game. But that's not how you win the game. To win the game, you need to get these paintings. Each painting is going to have a different value on it. You can see this one here is $375,000. This one here, you may have heard of this painting before, is $500,000. This one here is $350,000. But this one's a degenerate painting. Degenerate paintings are paintings that the Germans weren't too fond of. And it's basically just a keyword that's used over the course of the game. And there's also some paintings in here that are forgeries. Okay, they're worth nothing unless you happen to have some forged documents here. Then you can turn one of these forgeries into an actual painting. The object of this game is to get $1 million worth of paintings. And you're going to do that with these cards right here, these operation cards. And there's different operation cards that you have that will allow you to do different abilities. The tricky thing about the game is the fact that you are just telling players what you're doing on your turn rather than actually showing them the cards. On a player's turn, they have 4 different options that they can do. 1, they can pay 4 intelligence to the bank to draw another operations card. They can also pay 10 intelligence to the bank to take one of these cards. They can take from the top card here, or they can take one of these 4 face down cards. They can also pay 3 intelligence to the bank to take one of these forged documents. There's only one of these cards per player, so they are limited. Or they can take a card from their hand and play it and tell people what it is. Now, each card, when you play it, you'll notice, for example, here the Allies card has 2 different actions. 1, you just hold your hand and you say, I have an Allies card, I'm doing this. Or you can play it in front of you and say, I have an Allies card, and when you're done, you discard that card. And each card will do something different. The most numerous card in the deck, there's 11 of them, is the French Resistance. If you have them in your hand, you can say, I have 3 French Resistance, and you'll get 2 intelligence for each French Resistance you hold. Or you can play a French Resistance down in front of you, draw 2 new plot cards, and then get rid of one of those plot cards. Then we have Spies. Spies lets you take a look at any 2 of the cards here in the art cache. Or, when you play it face down, you can receive a -3 intelligence art discount, or take 3 intelligence card from the pool for each spy you table. So I could say I'm getting rid of 2 spies, I'm taking 6 intelligence. Or I'm buying one of these guys out here for only 4, because I happen to have 2 spies in my hand that I'm getting rid of. The art dealer lets you take 3 intelligence, if you just say you have it in your hand. Or you can trade a card at one of your art cards that you have at random for someone else. Maybe you have a forgery and you want to get rid of that and give it to somebody else. This guy can steal 3 intelligence from another player, or I can look at a card from the art pile or held by another player, and if it's degenerate, I can take it from them. So he's a way to get the degenerate art cards. And then the Allies, you can take 3 intelligence from the pool. Also, you can ignore the double agent and art dealer. So if I say I have a double agent, you can say I have Allies. They're keeping me safe. The Monument Men. Or I can look at all the art cards held by another player and I can take one of the forgeries from them. Now the thing is, you can lie all you want in this game. I can say I have 4 French Resistance in my hand, and I may not. Anybody can call me out whenever I say anything. If they call me out and I was lying, then I have to pay half the intelligence. Let's say I had 6 intelligence, or here's 8 intelligence. I would have to get rid of 4 of it. If they call me out and I was telling the truth, then they would have to lose half their intelligence. If you don't have at least 2 intelligence, you can't call somebody out because you don't have half to lose. Now, if you call somebody out and they said they had cards in their hand, let's say I had said, I have a French resistance in my hand, and I'm going to take 2 intelligence. Someone calls me out, and I'm like, yeah, I do have an intelligence in my hand. So what I do then is I get rid of this card, and I draw a new one. So it's possible to, it's another French resistance. It's possible to call somebody out just to get rid of the cards in their hands. You know that they're probably telling the truth, but you can still make them get rid of the cards in their hands. If you call somebody out and they're lying, they just say, yeah, I'm lying, and they give you the cards. When you play a card face down on the table, you're going to lose it whether or not you were telling the truth or not. But no one knows unless they call you out. So there's this whole try to guess when the other person's being called out or not. And then you just simply play. The first person to get $1 million worth of art is the winner. Now, you may notice that Operation F.A.U.S.T has some similarities to games like Coup, even though Coup itself wasn't original. There was a game 20 years ago that did the same thing. But these games where you're trying to bluff and call the other person out, and that bluffing is a big deal here in Operation F.A.U.S.T. It's that whole, is he lying or not? But in this one, if you call someone out and they were telling the truth, or someone calls you out and you're lying, you're not out of the game. You simply give that person half your intelligence. And so, I mean, that's great to get someone's intelligence for calling them out, but it makes it easier to call people out, but at the same time keeps the game going. There is a sting of a penalty behind it. I might sit there and go, wow, he just said he had 3 French resistance in his hand. There's 11 in the deck. There's a pretty good chance he has 3, but he might just be bluffing and lying. Should I call him out or not? And then there's the whole trying to figure out where the art things are. If I see someone take some forgery papers, I'm pretty sure they have a forgery, unless it's what they want me to think. So there's some back and forth, and the games aren't very long. The theme itself is incredibly solid. This is a great theme, saving historically cultural artifacts from armies, or I guess if you want to steal them, but it's still a very fascinating time in history. And it plays out very quickly. You're trying to guess. There's not that many different cards. Everybody has a reference card, which tells you the 5 different cards and the different actions that they do. It plays quickly. I had a very enjoyable time with this. Going back and forth, I'm terrible at bluffing, but at the same time, I enjoyed trying to guess whether other people are bluffing or not, and trying to. And sometimes you're just excited because you get a really good combo in your hand. You do it, and someone calls you for bluffing, and you're irritated, even though you're telling the truth, because you have to get rid of the cards in your hand. If you like short bluffing style games with a heavy dollop of actually good, solid theme, then this is a game that you should consider backing. It's Operation F.A.U.S.T. Rob Burke has made several other games in the past. They've all turned out very nicely. This one I look forward to seeing the final product for, Operation F.A.U.S.T.
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.